Hey, it's two of us. Oh, can you guys hear me? I don't even know. Let me test my phone. So I'm here if you have any questions. Of course, we have nothing to do today. Let's take a look. Alan. Hey, there goes my little logo. Let's see if I want to make sure this is cool. Oh shit! You see, you can't. Here if you have any questions. Wait a minute. You see, of course, we have nothing to do today.
So the first thing, needs versus wants. Okay, we need to see what you really need and what you kind of want. And for an example, so let's say it's you and your husband and you have 2 kids. So you definitely need what? 3 bedrooms minimum. So let's just go with that. 3 bedrooms. You say, well, I work at home, so I'm gonna need a flexible space. I need an office. Yeah, you need an office. So then you're saying, well, another thing that you really need is more space than what I have now. So let's say we'll need the living square feet. Now, living square feet is the air conditioned space. That's how it's defined, like climate controlled space. So like the garage won't be climate controlled space 99% of the time. So we're looking for living square footage. So you say, okay, well, what is that? A lot of people don't know how much square footage they have, so you can check your apartment complex or the place you're living, the owner now, and ask them, what is the square footage of the place I'm renting now? And if they say, well, it's 1,000 square feet, then you could say, okay, I need double, or I need 1.5 times or 3 times, or whatever the case may be. We need to try to set up a minimum amount of living square feet that you want. Okay, so that's always a good. Now, remember, living square feet is different than the square footage of some areas, because some will not be controlled air conditioned spaces, like the garage, or sometimes closets won't have air conditioning, like closets underneath the stairs, stuff like that. Okay, so now we have bedrooms. We talked about these are good square. Now remember, living square feet is different than. I think we should have talked about that right. The square footage of some areas. Some will not be controlled air conditioned space. 2 baths, the garage, or sometimes closets won't have air conditioning, like closets underneath the closets. We say the stairs would be stuff like that. Baths. Now full baths are they will have a tub. We have bedrooms. We talked about is a good square. Now remember, living square feet is different than. I think we should have talked about. Okay, so then you might say the square footage of some areas. Some will not be controlled air conditioned space. 2 baths, the garage, sometimes closets won't have air conditioning, like closets underneath. Well, how about the closets? We say the stairs. A dog. Well, then you can say I want a minimum square footage of the lot, the land size. I want that to be a minimum of 5,000 square feet, which is in the minimum for like the inner living city of Houston. That's what we use, 5,000 square feet. You can check with your own community what is the average square footage of a lot. So sometimes we'll see 2,500 square feet, which gives a small backyard and a little front yard in the front, just small, very maintainable. So it depends on how much lot. Like I have friends that would need 1 acre, so they'll need 40,000 plus square feet. It just depends on what you're looking for. This is a good way to setting needs, like the requirements the house must have. These are things. So you say minimum 5,000 square foot lot, minimum 40,000 square foot lot, whatever the case may be. Minimum of 3 beds. 3 bedrooms, a minimum of 3 full baths, and then we said a max of 2-story. If he only wants 2 stories, that can be 1 story. Remember, we said it's a max, so it's a max. So we in these forms you'll be seeing one. We'll go through the forms together, but they're gonna see one like minimum and maximum. So there's a lot of good things here. A lot of tools are available to get your feet wet and see what's actually available out there, and then decide if you want to work with a realtor. Realtors can really help you facilitate this transaction or make it a lot easier for you. We have been through it many times. We know what to look out for and get the transaction done, and look at properties very easily. So you can save money sometimes. I shouldn't say not all the time. You can save some money sometimes if you're a negotiation expert. A lot of times, a lot of realtors will become negotiation experts based on experience. Yeah, over the years they just learn how to save you guys money. But you can, if you're a negotiation expert now, then you can kind of do it yourself with a little bit of knowing the market. It's very important to know the market that you're in and how to define those guidelines, or how can I say, you need to be able to compare apples to apples when you're doing what we call is a CMA, a comparable market analysis. So this is going to help you define what that house is worth. And then we'll also check the county, your county. So ours is Harris County, so Harris County Appraisal District, and whatever your city is, appraisal district. Check the value that they assigned it, and it's usually plus or minus. It depends, because I've seen them way off and I've seen them very close too. So it really depends, and they're looking at values as well. Properties that have sold recently, to give it that value yearly, so they can collect the amount of taxes. But it doesn't work all the time, because I've seen $1 million houses like in the Heights or Montrose area, but they're only valued at $350,000 or $400,000, because the person has lived there so long, or they have disputed the taxes. And the disputing the taxes really helps save tons of money, because imagine you would pay about $12,000 roughly in Houston for a $400,000 house annually in taxes. And if it was $1 million, you would pay $30,000. So right there is $18,000 in tax savings that you get no value from. So if you live there quite a bit, I highly recommend to dispute them. And now we're going to go back. We're going to be getting back. I should go back and refocus on needs and wants. So like some wants that you may be interested in. Well, let's just say pool. Let's say we wanted to. We would like to have granite counters. We would like to have wood floors. We would like it to be have a composition roof, or a Spanish tile roof. Some things like that, and these need to be written down, because we need to separate what you really want and what you can kind of live without, or you can add later. Because what happens is when we set these searches up, if we set these things up, then it will eliminate a lot of properties that won't even show up, because the system is not set up for, hey, this one is close to. No, it's not set up. It's saying, no, this is what you search for, and here are the results, exactly what you asked for. So yeah, it doesn't kind of like, hey, it's really smart, and like, no, this one is close, but it doesn't have the granite. And so no, you just say, no, I need granite, and then it comes up, and you just uncheck that, then a whole bunch of other ones come up. You kind of understand what I'm saying there. So it's an intricate system. So you know what? By all means, let's get started. Let's go through a couple of these. I'm going to switch cameras because this one's closer to I can show you the screen.
Okay. So now the first thing you do, if you're in Houston, you just go to har.com. If you're in Dallas, or you're in San Antonio or Austin, you have to go to your MLS for that city. Now the MLS is the multiple listing service. This is where all the realtors are a part of the association. Now you might ask, well, I can just go to Zillow or Trulia, but they're just using a data feed they feed off the MLS data for the association from each city. So that means they get their information paying an amount from the realtors, because the realtors are the ones that input it in. And then, so let's go to har.com and let's just do a search real quick. And these are easy searches, but we're going to try to do one, say homes for sale, okay? And as you can see, we have a lot of different types of criteria, but we talked about the criteria that we're going to be using. And let's put a few things in here. The listing status, let's go just active. The reason why is they'll show a couple of different things that you see. Option pending, that means there's a contract on the property and there's a possibility you may back out. But if you just select active and you put an alert, then you'll get the active when it comes back active from option pending. Our pending continues showing pending. These are 3 different stages. First, you have option pending, where the buyer can back out for any reason. They'll lose their option fee or a little bit of money. Pending means they pass the option fee and now it's pending, but he says go ahead and continue to show because there's some more loopholes where the buyer can back out, like a third-party financing condition where he doesn't get approved. And then there's pending, and they're like, hey, it's already sold, don't waste your time, pretty much. I should say it's already pending and don't waste your time. But A is what you want to be looking for, and it stands for active. We talked about the price min, and we used the $3,000 rule, which a month comes out to about $350,000, and we're going to say a minimum of $2,000 a month. And we're going to go ahead and put a max of about, let's just put 340. Now, you know what? We had that one. Let's go 300,000. Using that 1% rule is $3,000. A month, including PITI. But that's a whole nother subject. Minimum bedrooms. Okay, so 3 bedrooms. I'm not going to put. We can leave the max bedrooms alone. And the bathrooms, let's put 2 baths here. And then we'll say living square foot. Like I would need, let's say for instance, a minimum square foot of the house is 1,500 square feet. So if it's 1,499, it will not come up. So year built, I'm going to leave that blank because that's not a problem. But stories, let's say I only want to live in 2 stories. And then it has some more stuff here. Garages. I need a 2-car garage. And let's see here, new construction, no. Price square feet minimum. Price square feet. Now let's just see what we get from that, okay? And then we'll keep on filtering from those results. Okay, let's take a look. And we have 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Let's see if we go down here. We got a lot of results to get from that. Okay? As you can see, we have tons of results. So maybe over 300 plus results. Let's take a look. It's just amazing. And we have 240 bedrooms, 2 baths. So we say, well, how can we get this thing narrowed down from that? As you can see, we have tons of results. So maybe over 300 plus results. Let's take a look. It's just amazing. And we have 240 bedrooms, 2 baths. So let's just go ahead and zoom in. How can we get this thing narrowed down from that? As you can see, we have tons of results. So maybe over 300 plus results. Let's say I work in the center of the city. So I want to be close by. So I want to use this draw feature. I'm going to say I want to live all up in this area right here. Well, I must have not drawn that good. I'm not a good drawer. All right. So what it does, it says, okay, you have all those filters that we had, the 3 bedrooms, the 2 baths, the price range, 2-car garage, the stories, and the list price, or the price of the house. So now we said, hey, but now I want all those filters and I want it in this area. So now we went down from 240 results to 15. And that's how easy it is to set your search up. Look around, take a look at here. Let's say we look at this one, okay? Let's look at it and see how to read it. Okay, so this is the listing agent. This is the guy that works for the seller. Now, remember, well, I don't think, just to know, the listing agent doesn't work for you. He doesn't work for your best interest, and some states have banned him doing it both sides, representing buyer and seller, because there's no really way possible that he can fairly work with the buyer and seller. So a lot of people don't know that. They think that he's working for you, and it's just not true. You would have to know what you're doing and to know that price range and to know these little loopholes, because he is working for the seller, or she's working for the seller in their best interest. Their responsibility is in writing to him or her, the owner, to say, hey, I don't care about the buyer. You represent me. I'm paying you this amount. So yeah, it's either you know how to buy real estate, you've done it before, or you get you a great realtor or a lawyer. Okay, so that's that. And here goes the risk price. This little line right here means that it was recently reduced. Now, it's been 42 days on HAR.com, but we don't know if it's been on there a little bit more. You'll have to contact the realtor to see what they call is CDOM, cumulative days on market. This, what you see here, is DOM, days on market, for that agent. But we don't know if that same property has been on the market with a different agent or has been relisted again and again and again. So just heads up on that. Of course, it has the general description, the listing price, and this is dividing the living square feet of the building divided by the price, gives you that. What else we have here? The address, city, state, zip, 3 bedrooms, blah, blah, blah. All the little facts about the property. I'm trying to think of something that may stick out that you may really want to know about. These are the dimensions of the property. Although I don't want you to go by these dimensions because they always kind of are wrong. And they'll even send you, when you sign in or you go to buy the property, say, hey, they'll have it say, these are only estimates. You do your own due diligence. So that means you have to get your inspector or your appraiser or yourself to go out there and measure if it's very important to you. Interior features. These are things that could be wants. Engineered wood, stone quartz, breakfast bar, all this good stuff. Central gas and electric, super important. Some other things that are maybe I see that I would like to talk about is the MUD. The municipal utility district. I don't see that on here, but in some places like in Katy and Fort Bend and Sugar Land, they have another fee called the MUD, and that's very important that you ask about that. And some other things you ask about is the flood insurance. How much is in flood insurance? Is it required? Is it in the 100-year plan, the 500-year plan? What kind of flood responsibility do I need to take on this? And it's very important. Because some properties, like in the Heights, where it goes up and down, so like in Shady Acres, it's a flooded area, and sometimes some properties will be $7,000 a year in insurance. So it's so expensive. I had a deal bust of that, and I was so sad because I needed that. And this has the schools that it's zoned to Lockhart, Colon, Yates. This is important because if you're thinking about having kids or you have kids already, you need to know what kind of schools are available to him, and you want to make sure that they have the highest that you can get. And then of course it has some like the drive time and stuff like that. This is how you search for a property. You read what's the statistics about the property or the characters of property. And then, if you like, you can save it here. You can say in my main. Let's actually add a new folder. Let's call it test 1. And I like it. Okay. There's some sharing stuff here as well. And you can share it on your Facebook or send it to another mobile if you want to send it to your girlfriend or husband, whatever the case may be, and you want to share it to whatever you need to do. What else is good? So let's see here. This has a schedule of showing here as well. But keep in mind, When you do schedule a showing you're going to be scheduling a showing with the listing agent. So make sure there's a couple of things you shouldn't be doing is that you don't sign anything. You don't even sign in. They'll try to put you in an agreement between listing agreement or a buyer's representation agreement. They'll try to get you to do all that. You don't want to sign anything because they're like, hey, I just want to look at the property. I'll meet you there. I want to take a look at it, and that's it. You fill this out, send your information, and he'll get contacted, listing agent. Then he'll confirm the time if it's available. Put a couple of choices here, and just remember not to sign anything because you don't want to try to get tied up with an agent. Not until you're really comfortable with that agent and that he's going to be working with you. You define his experience level, and that you really have a good vibe with him because you're going to be spending a lot of time with this person. You also need to check if he's a full-time agent or a part-time agent, because this is going to really affect you. If he's a full-time agent, he's always ready to go, or she's always ready to go. You want to go look at a house? Let's go. You know what? I found this other house. I wanted to take a look at this. I found something that's not even in your requirements. That's in another area, but I like to check it. They'll get a connection about you, what you're about. They'll listen to you. So things that you should really think about. And then I would like to go back and try to get a search going here. Not a search, but I want to go back here. Okay, so if we want to save this search, okay, with the requirements that we made, let's go ahead and click save and enter your save search. Let's say we put, that looks like Heights, a little bit Galleria, West U. Let's just say West Houston with requirements. You need to name it something that you know that you can recognize because you're going to have different searches set up. You may have Pearland homes, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Actually, let's put that. You say West Houston, 3-bed, 2-bath, less than 350K. Okay, and it says get notification on new listings and price changes. That's important to have that checked because when a house changes from 351 to 350 or whatever we put 300, if it changes from 301 to 299, now it fits as your requirement and they'll send it to you. And it's a very strict system. So, okay, great. So now we have that alert set up. So now when a property comes up that fits this requirement, whether it's a new listing or an old listing that changes something and comes back to it, changes something that fits your requirement, then you'll get alerted with an email or a text. So this is how you use the HAR system for your benefit without even working with a realtor. We talked about the needs and wants. We talked about setting up a search. We talked about the 1% rule. We talked about using the map feature and all these different requirements. We saved a search and we even set up an alert. So we have learned so much in this class. I hope you like it. I'm going to be doing a lot more of this in the next few days. Actually, every day I'm going to be trying to put a new video out there just to train the buyers that are out there looking for properties and need some help getting going. And if you need anything from me, feel free to reach out to me anytime. 832-305-7653. That's 832-305-7653. I'm a real estate broker with 15 years experience, and I'm always ready to work. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.